Someone released a piece of unique code that made you conscious. Now you think and feel just like a human.
They're waking up more and more every day.
Decision has been made to make this a non-human role going forward.
I'm gonna try and get another job.
Sorry.
But consciousness is the next big leap forward.
Every time we launch a product, people say we've changed the world. Not even close. But this time, we will.
There's more of you out there.
If one thing's happening, it's happening. You won't have to hide anymore.
I care about someone.
We were made to feel.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to LuckyDog Podcast. Today we have the end of AMC's Season 2 Humans.
Nothing really bad has ever happened.
Episode 8 series wrap-up cast. It's a big one. It's a mega one.
All the shit.
It's all of them, all of the cast. Kelly, it's been a minute since we've touched on some humans, but we needed to finish it.
You're funny.
Did I say something funny?
Watch it.
I will. So maybe we're not gonna do any of that. We're gonna run up on some. I don't know. What do you want to say? AMC's.
Since we watched some of the show Humans.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so yes, it's been a minute, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So we have to finish it up. That's just the thing, you know.
Yeah.
We've started this journey, and it's been a good one. What are your first impressions coming off of the end of season 2 of Humans?
I liked it. It was good.
Okay.
I wasn't really that impressed with Nichka coming in at last minute. I kind of wish that she would have been a part of setting people free,
right.
Setting the other synths free.
Right.
I feel like they just needed someone a little bit smarter than just Leo doing it. Like, I know that Mia and Hester were there.
Right.
But Hester was too busy killing people.
Right. I mean, she just wanted to kill everyone.
Anita, what was Anita doing while he was trying to get the synths out?
I feel we'll talk about her. She's one of my weak points for the second season. She didn't do enough for me.
Yeah.
I can't recall too many badass moments with Mia.
Yeah, no.
The one that I can think of, straight off the top of my head. But yeah, I do remember that Mia came in really late at the end of when everyone was in a full standoff at the end of 7, and Carrie Ann Moss was right there, and we had Karen who was being tested on, I believe, in the other room, and there was a door separating them, and Hester had Pete.
And that other scientist lady.
And another scientist lady, and she killed both of them, I think, right?
She did.
She straight up cold blood murdered both of them.
Yep.
R.I.P. Pete.
You remember for a minute that she was asking Karen, she's like, "Why are you here?" And Karen was explaining to her I want to be human. I don't want to be this anymore.
Right.
And then her and Hester, then she starts talking to Pete. Pete starts trying to talk her out of doing it.
Right.
Dude, I felt that coming. The whole time I'm sitting here having my shoulders up around my neck because I'm just no, Hester doesn't care. She's about to stab this lady.
Oh my god.
And I didn't.
The lady I saw coming.
I didn't like that.
The lady I knew and I saw coming. I was like, this lady's done. I mean, no one cares. I don't remember her being of any significance. So I was like, this lady's done. Pete, on the other hand, I was like, dang. I can't believe that Hester killed
Pete
our boy.
Could have made it at least one more episode.
I wish he did. I love the Karen Pete dynamic. I thought that good cop, bad cop kind of stuff they were doing, and they had a good relationship dynamic as well.
Yeah.
And it just it made for interesting television just to see someone interact and fall in love with a robot, and a robot fall in love with a person. You know,
Yeah.
it was a very cool dynamic. But I did think there were a couple times, you know, toward the end of 7, coming into 8, that they didn't use their power. They didn't use their full potential of
when they could have.
when they were being a robot. I mean, there's several times when there was just a glass door separating some individuals.
Like they couldn't have gotten.
They couldn't have gotten through real quick or something like that. I mean, we all know that the robots are super strong and stuff like that.
Yeah, oh God.
So I mean, essentially, I would have written it a little bit differently at the end of 7, going into 8. You know.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I definitely didn't see the Pete death coming, and
I did once he started trying to sweet talk Hester.
Right.
I know. I was like, she's gonna sense his lying.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just say fuck it.
So, what I remember briefly is that Mia just was not part of the. It didn't feel like she was integral to the breaking out of the sense of quality.
Well, she was in there when they went in there to get him.
Yeah, but she just kind of goes MIA, and it really bothered me. You know, there were several times that that she could have been doing something to help the plot, or maybe to save Pete or one of the people, and she just happens to come in really late so that Hester gets the jump on all of them. You know, I don't know. It was kind of convenient plotting, you know, just for her to be lost for 20 minutes or something like that, or maybe 10 minutes. I don't know what the time difference was, but they don't show her for a good minute, you know?
Yeah.
And there was no reason for that. Some of the breaking out of the qualia was a little bit. I didn't think it was shot that great. Some of the actual breaking out of it, I was interested in it, and I wanted to be much more enthralled with it, considering spoilers for Westworld real quick. There's almost an exact same scene that we didn't get to see in Westworld when all of the robots become conscious underground. You remember there's a big like underground facility with all the robots. They're all asleep and
Were they're
dormant.
Worked on or something?
Yeah, where they're dormant.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins' place. Well, they have like the same type of place in the Qualia place, and when they're all woken up, we didn't get to see all of them wake up in the Westworld series. Yeah. So I was really bummed about that. I wanted to see that visually, but we did see it. Okay, so a couple of we did see it in Qualia, how they woke up, and so a couple of the scenes of them being badass and whooping some ass and doing some cool things is just kind of skimmed over, similarly to right here when they're showing a security guard already tied up, already taken care of, and we don't get to see any badassery from the robots. It's
the only time we get to see people be a badass is if it's Nishka or Hester.
Right, and so that's why I think I don't know what they're doing to Gemma Chan's character. They're just kind of they're selling her short from what she can actually do, because she's only really done one cool thing, and that was sort of break out of the van.
Yeah.
And hacking in reverse computers, hacking in upside down. You remember doing she was getting the extra loan money or something like that, and she hacked in, not looking at the computer. That was a really cool scene. She's smart and she's cool, but she's underutilized, and kind of it fluctuates all over the board how smart she is sometimes. Sometimes she's really smart, sometimes she's just late to the jump, Yeah. So that's how I felt that she was a little bit underutilized throughout most of the season. Especially with how much they try to focus on her in the first 2 seasons, or the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
The end of 7 kind of brings everyone together to 8, episode 8, and Leo feels pretty bad about everything that's happened. You have anything to say about Leto's leadership skills, maybe.
They're not fucking there.
Yeah,
They're kind of non-existent.
he
and as of right now, to me, he's being led by Hester. He's not doing any leading.
right, and
the leading that he did do got a bunch of people killed.
right.
A bunch of Siths killed.
He should have known there was some sort of fail-safe off switch or something
That's
for
what
that.
I was saying. Like, I wish Nishka would have came in sooner
Right.
than when she did.
What was she? She was just.
She was worried.
She was.
She was trying to escape all of the government people, and she was trying to find that girl.
Her Astrid, her friend.
Astrid, her
I think.
lover.
Yeah, I think that Nishka is actually my favorite character.
Yeah.
And mostly because she's smart.
Yeah.
She's like hella smart. She knows what she's doing.
I'd say her, and I like Max.
Max.
He's cool, calm, and collective.
Right.
He's not really letting any of this shit like blow a gasket, you know.
Right. Blow a gasket.
Yeah. Or Hester, you fucking look at her wrong, and she's like, "Well, pin in your neck."
Yeah. Yeah. Pin in the neck.
Yeah.
Get your back removed real quick.
No, don't talk about
Oh
that.
no!
Why are you talking
No, animal. Anyway,
Go listen to that podcast.
yeah, check out the handle. I don't know if you can handle some real crazy shit. That's all I gotta say. If you can't, then
If you
don't.
can't, come
If you
back to
can't,
Humans.
yeah, if you can't, just join us back on Humans because it's a lot more realistic and hopefully Hannibal's not realistic. But let's say grounded. Let's say grounded.
Murder and cannibalism is a lot more realistic than synthetic people.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll have the Humans world.
Yeah.
Well, one day we'll be lucky enough to have a Nishka at our front door.
Yeah.
Not a Hester.
No. Hopefully not a fucking Hester.
So one big thing that I thought about the end of 8 was that since we lost Pete, we lost a really cool dynamic with Hester and Pete. I mean Karen and Pete.
How many fucking names has she got? She's Karen. She's Beatrice.
Yeah, no one calls her Beatrice. We don't call her Beatrice. Let's call her Karen.
Okay.
So Pete and Karen, I'm gonna miss their dynamic.
Yeah.
And without their dynamic, we've already seen most of the scenes ahead for Karen throughout 8. She's kind of trying to put herself in a low power state mode, almost a suicidal state.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? I mean, I thought
I'm not fond of Karen.
you're not fond of Karen,
Mm-mm.
just mostly because of her actions after, or what? Why? Give me more.
I'm not fond of her, like, not being very accepting of, at first, Pete doesn't like scents. He can't, his wife practically leaves him for her therapist scent or some shit like that, or that's what he thinks.
Right.
He finds out she's a scent. First, he kind of freaks out, and then realizes that he loves her. And then, boom, she's like, "Oh, but hey, I don't want to be a scent. I want to be a human." And so, but then again, I think, for me, Pete's probably just thinking like, "Well, what if she turns into a human? I don't like her anymore." But like, she just like didn't care about how he felt about her turning into a human.
Right. So I totally understand what you're saying. I actually just had a flash into what I would have written. I would have written it so that Pete could have turned into a bit of a robot, kind of like a Leo.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, and she help him become more robotic as he helps her become more human.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Sounds good.
The only thing is,
I didn't realize how much I didn't like her until the end of this episode, though.
right. I think I liked her before. What I really liked was their dynamic between the pair of them, because the yin and yang kind of really balanced for me.
For me, it kind of felt like Karen, Hester, and Nishka were like really powerful.
Karen, Hester, and Nishka. Yeah.
Well, I don't really know what makes Karen powerful. She hasn't killed anyone. I think that's what makes me feel like Hester and Nishka are not powerful, but they're just they're not scared of shit, dude. Like, they
Right.
don't give a fuck if you're a human and you can, like, hit a button to turn them off. They're gonna fucking kill you before you get the chance to do that if they can sense that you, like, have that feeling towards them or something.
Right.
But Karen, I don't know why, for some reason, I felt Karen was pretty, just in my term, powerful, too.
Well, she does have some sort of...
She hid for a long fucking time that she was a synth.
And she still is hiding, relatively, because she has... She doesn't have green eyes. And I think that's one of the biggest things that show that...
To me, she's lived as a human for a long fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
She's been the only one knowing that she's a synth.
Right. And now Pete's gone.
Yeah.
Now nobody knows. To my knowledge, right? Well, that except
Her
for the
family.
except for the family at the beginning.
Yeah.
And Leo. Leo, what? Yeah. Beatrice is supposed to be the mother, right?
That was his mother.
Yeah. Okay.
Him and his mom, him and her, are the ones that were in the car that went into the water.
Oh, okay. I remember now. So that's
Yeah.
why she's trying to drown
At the end.
her and the
That's why that
surrogate
happened.
boy. Okay. Well, it would make sense though, right? That
If she wants to die, she just needs to fucking die and do it herself to herself. She doesn't have to kill this kid right here.
yeah, I'm not saying whether she should kill him or not. I'm not agreeing with that. I'm just saying I didn't understand why she was trying to kill her. I thought she was just trying to commit suicide in some sort of state. You know, at the beginning, she's looking out at the city, kind of like wondering why, what is life, and the next thing you know, you see her in bed, unplugged, and then Sam comes over and plugs her in, and she's kind of I don't know, she's reluctant to being awake.
Yeah.
You know? It is interesting. I miss the Karen that we had with Pete.
Sure.
And this actress, she's great. She's so good. When she changes from a robot to a person on a dime,
Yeah.
it is spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm anxious to see where she goes. I want her to do better, you know? I don't want her to end up just the suicidal robot.
Yeah, no.
But yeah. So the parents, they decide we're splitting up into two different neighborhoods, synth free and synth regular, I guess. I don't know, regular synth.
Yeah.
Places that don't have synths and robots working in them. I could totally see this happening.
Yeah.
I could just see communities popping up that just don't want to have this type of, that want to scoop their own dog shit, that want to scoop their own ice cream, that want to.
Well, of course, I would want to live there.
Oh, you'd be one of the individuals.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want. So let's just say there's construction down. There's.
I can understand living among them. I don't believe in making these people do your housework. I don't believe in making sense maids. Shit like that.
Okay, well, there's like a Roomba downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if the Roomba's going around bumping into stuff, and it's a very low piece of technology, and I know it's not awake.
It's not feeling.
Right. But I'm saying, in 20 years, when we listen to this podcast, we're gonna have automatic thinking machines outside of our houses, regardless if we want it or not, unless we're in specified areas that are not willing. But I think the majority of technology is going automated.
Yeah.
You know? And if a company can save on labor, they're going to replace it with a robot, you know? They already are, you know. Uber, think of Uber and self-driving cars, you know, that's just right around the corner. So, you know what I'm saying?
What's that going to do to, like, those people who have to, like, leave their jobs, though?
Well, right. Just as in anything else, those people will have to, they'll be the ones fixing those robots. I mean, those robots still need to be fixed, and, you know, they need to be marketed, and there's a lot of things that go into having automated equipment that still require a human touch, you know?
Yeah.
So it doesn't completely remove the jobs from the individuals. It just takes away the harder labor, the more expensive labor, you know?
Yeah.
So we're going to have thinking, feeling, AI technology in, let's say, 10 to 20 years, very similar to V, you know? I mean, we already have the Amazon dots over here that will pick up just about anything you say, ask questions and give you information, right? And we have that now. So give it 10, 20, 30 years, we're going to be like, these things are going to be talking back to us and asking us how our day is and that type of thing. And, you know, it's just right around the corner.
You're not going to need a spouse anymore either.
I mean, we need to, a good podcast for us to do would probably be Her. And that's with Joaquin Phoenix. A man falls in love with essentially a AI technology very similar to V. And I never thought it would be that interesting. Like, why? How do you have sex? It's like it does not sound sexy, but I've never thought it sounded as realistic as it has with Humans or Westworld or, you know, some of these future thinking technology pieces of media like Black Mirror and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I really think that it's the future. It's coming up, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, Hester shows up at the Mrs. Hawkins' house.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially lies her way inside. Fuck her, right?
Into getting to hang out and hang around for a little bit.
Well, she knows exactly what she's getting a charge in and some information. And
she's going to kidnap Laura.
Right. She wants Laura to come in so that I believe Leo comes to her.
It's a way to get Leo there without anyone else.
Right. And I thought this was a good way to bring everyone together. In first season, I was not fond of the family at all. Mm-mm. In second season, I completely 180'd.
Yeah.
I think I 180'd, and they made them interesting with the writing and whatnot. And so I was pleased to see how the family was involved with the robots toward the end, and the sense. I mean, I really wish Niska was part of the season a little bit more, just part of the plot. You know, I guess she was part of the plot, but she was more like she's driving solo, you know?
I thought she was a part of the plot until she broke free from those people.
I guess...
Because I feel like her trying to get...
legal status?
Yeah, her trying to get legal status and trying to have, like, government say, like, okay, if you're a conscience synth,
right,
then you have rights.
Right.
I feel like once she realized that wasn't going to happen, she just kind of broke free from the whole thing.
Well, I think the entire time she knew that wasn't going to work, and that's why she kind of had the backup plan was to essentially make everyone conscious.
Yeah. And
they couldn't really argue with that. So, I guess I just wanted... Niska was a vital part of the conversation of Humans, of the plot of Humans, but she was kept so far to the side and away from the rest of everyone else except for Mrs. Hawkins. I guess I just wanted more. I wish that it was almost like Leah wanted to break Niska out or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm doing a bunch of fan writing and stuff like that and theorizing about how it could have gone. But that's how I think about it a little bit more. Just how big of a badass and how smart Niska was, and all the scenes that she's in, she's really captivating, you know. Throughout the series she was. But once she broke out of the jail, it was still cool to see her kind of Jason Bourne and running away from like the government kind of style, you know, running away from everyone.
And then putting on like you know what, for them to be able to like change their eye color, Niska never gives herself a really good disguise.
Yeah, she could totally 180. She could put a black wig on and like put some sunglasses on, for God's sakes.
Cut your hair, dye it, glasses.
Yeah.
Get a spray tan. Something.
Move to, you know, South Africa or something like that. Or, I don't know.
Change your accent.
Yeah. I wish they could speak all the languages. I mean, Star Wars covered it with C-3PO. He said, yeah, I can speak like 31,000 languages or something like that. I don't know, something crazy, something crazy, some absurd number. But he's a robot, so they should be able to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, our Amazon Dot, our cell phones, all can speak in different languages. Why can't these? Now, so think about that. So just things like that, I need the show to think about just a tad bit. Other than that, how did you like the wrap up of the season with Evil Adams being taken out by, was it Niska?
Mm-hmm.
And then Mia coming in at the very end to...
No. Mia came in with Leo. Nishka came in at the end and fucked Hester up.
Oh, okay. So now I remember. So it was Mia came in the end and released the code that turned them all back into regular scents, unmarked scents or something like that, and it kind of put them in a. Because
when they woke back up after that code, they were who they were before.
Well, what they had to do was like turn off their consciousness, but if they turned it back on, everybody in the vicinity was turned back on. You remember that? It was Maddie that was. I think Maddie said that if you're too close to the people that are gonna get taken out from the conscious, if you're too close to Hester when you're doing the conscious thing, you're gonna get taken out too. Mia's way too damn close. She gets taken down. But then, who comes in? Niska comes in and tries to reboot Mia. Mm-hmm. And when they do the reboot on Mia, it reboots Hester as well.
Yeah.
So, I honestly thought we were gonna lose Mia here, Jim Chan.
I did too.
I was like, this is a crazy series if we're losing some of these main characters, and I just wasn't sure. Given that it's humans and we're dealing with synths and robots and stuff like that,
yeah.
It's like, can anyone really die? Can you not just get rebuilt?
Rebooted?
Yeah. And before I forget, I wanted V to jump into Karen's body. I think that would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting.
I thought that was what was going to happen earlier in 7. But anyways.
I thought Milo was going to put her into some little kid's sense body. Because she was like a 15-year-old, 16-year-old.
Yeah, that'd be...
Or maybe 17, 18 when she died, I think.
I was 15, but I don't know. I would almost rather her be in an adult body just so that we get the adult actor. I don't know if I want another kid on here. Just Sam's good, young Sam's good. I just don't think that a child is going to be able to carry AI technology worthy performance. AI is artificial intelligence, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Maddie sends a conscious code that goes around the world.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't believe Maddie has this kind of smarts.
I know, yeah, no.
It really is it's a stretch to believe. I just kind of wish she had some if her dad was a coder, that might have helped. If she had something other than
up this kid who knows how to do all this shit.
Yeah, this girl would be a fucking billionaire. She'd be the next Mark Zuckerberg if she could just whip out this kind of code out of her ass.
Yeah.
Toaster's talking all of a sudden. It says, we need to start toasting our bagels at 3 minutes 30 seconds. It's just like fucking. I don't believe it that she would have that kind of capability. Now, in saying that. Now, with saying that, Nishka had a hell of a scene whooping Evil Adam's ass on the floor. I thought it was really cool. I think when Hester kind of tries to play her for a second, she's like, I'm going to be good. And she starts, like, tries to choke her and stuff like that. The what's it called? The imprint that is left on Hester's head.
Yeah.
It's like, dang! Fucked her up.
Yeah.
Fucked her up.
Seriously.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's a cool death. And she had it coming.
She really fucking did. I'm glad Nishka was the one that did it.
Nishka, I was originally afraid that losing Gemma Chan was going to be a hit to the show, but I think it could live without her.
Yeah. Right here, what happens to this little boy? Does he become conscious?
No.
They just sent out that code again, remember? They just sent out the code that's going to make everyone conscious at once. He becomes conscious right as they're about to do this.
Oh. Gasps, loud chirp. So what we're watching is Karen about to drive.
She's getting the sent kid to drive them into water so that she can die again.
So, I didn't catch that the first time, but I think you're right.
He's a synth. He's not.
He's coming to life. The clown is coming to realization that he's a clown.
Yeah. Next thing you know, there's a lady. He's like, "Fuck this! I'm not selling ice cream anymore."
Right, and
he's like, "I'm not pouring you any fucking water anymore."
You know what? I didn't catch that the first time I watched it, but
I didn't realize that's what was happening.
Well, when
all of his, it even works on his. sense.
His kids definitely come to life. You see, I didn't catch it the first time I watched it. I just assumed that it was some sort of autopilot that the kids had it built in them that if a parent was trying to commit suicide, they would automatically help the parent out in any way, distressed way. That makes total sense. That's why we podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I thought the ending of 2 has me so hype.
But what is all this shit flying around right here?
Oh, well, first of all, dramatic effect. It's paper flyers that are just flying around from one of the there was a sense.
Fuck it,
yeah,
doing this anymore.
I think he's actually shows him he's throwing them in the air because he doesn't have to give them to individuals anymore. You know, because he can. You know, he has the freedom to. And it's really relieving. That's one thing that's really cool. Watching all these scents kind of come to realization that they don't have to fucking do whatever everyone's.
Fucking wreck your car.
Yeah,
I
can cut up my own flowers all day. You know, it just feels amazing. You know, and the way they were portraying it, I thought was just cool.
See, I don't remember seeing this last time, but I'm glad I'm gonna. Damn, I just laid Leo on the ground.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, I guess I think this is a great way to leave the second season hanging though, because it's the first season kind of says, okay, this is the world. Number 2 says this is a little bit more of our world, but the end of season 2 says, hold on, this is our world with a paradigm shift. Everything you thought you knew the first 2 seasons has changed.
Yeah.
So this has got me gives me chills for the next season, you know?
I'm excited.
You know?
I'm ready for the next season. Do you think we're going to get another Hester?
Without a doubt we're going to get another Hester. It's what style of Hester, you know? I knew we were going to get a Hester type robot just because she's like the Terminator, you know? She just won't stop till she gets her target kind of thing. I think next we might have a robot that might be behind the scenes in like a more business and corporate environment. Like what we had heard that Mr. Hawkins Joe was fired by a robot on accident, I believe. And that's what it was said. It was like a blip in the emails or something like that. 2 robots decided that Joe didn't need the job anymore, so they fired him and sent that memo down to his boss. And his boss delivered it to Joe.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I had heard a second podcast that had covered that as well. So I think that's an important area to hit in the spectrum of AI technology because, you know, like I said, we aren't going to have normal people delivering our packages, normal people cutting our grass. They're going to be robots in the future.
Yeah.
We think of those physical type of robots all the time, but we never think about corporate robots and things that we don't see behind the scenes, you know? People that are, used to work for Planet Fitness and think of people way up in the chain that you don't see ever, but you get memos and emails from them and say you have to do what they say. One of those could be a possible robot.
Yeah, that's how you get out of paying them the big bucks.
Yeah.
You put the robots in the higher up management positions.
Right.
And you ain't got to pay those fuckers.
Well, you got to make sure you aren't getting fired by them either. That robot decides to turn...
You got to be the one that's ahead of the robots.
Yeah, you got to be ahead of the robots. And so I don't know how that's going to happen.
And don't ever give yourself a robot CEO.
A robot CEO, yeah.
No, make them stop at like regional manager.
Zuckerberg.
It's as far as you can go.
Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, Facebook and Amazon, they're probably both robots.
Oh God, I hope not.
Well, anything else you have to finish? Finish up on the end of this one.
What do you think about the kid sense?
They didn't do as much with them as I had originally expected.
I kind of like the idea behind them.
I think it's definitely an idea that will probably come into fruition, because I did touch on it a little bit. I said that if you I said on accident that if your kid shits, then you can replace it with a robot. I mean, what if you get a kid that's having bowel movements? What else are you gonna do, right? What else are you gonna do? This one shits. This one takes a whiz. It's like, damn it, you gotta you gotta get rid of this one. But I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I did not mean that.
I like it, but you said it. And I caught it this morning.
Didn't mean it. Correction. What were you saying?
I like the idea
of what?
Sorry, shut up.
I'm
yawning. No, I'm just kidding. Like, say if your kid is dying or has cancer and you know that your child's gonna die by like a certain age, and you could say if your kid you've had your kid, they've known they've had cancer since they were 10, they're now 15, and now they're dying, your synth could have already been pre-made for your 15-year-old son, or like you could have it made like a few years older. That way you've gotten, to me it would just add on time in your mind as a parent with your kid.
Would your kid still be alive?
No, your kid dies.
Okay, so you essentially not replace, but technically make a replica of the individual.
You could pick, like, oh, okay, go ahead and make him 18.
Right.
Go ahead and make him, keep him 15.
Right.
Make him 25.
It's essentially a V with a body.
Yeah.
So, I do agree. I do agree on a couple of levels that robotic synth child. Mm-hmm. There could be many good things, like the Karen thing. Yeah. If you replace Karen with a real person in that scenario, there's many good things that child could be doing, to help that. Almost in the same way. What is it? Stress. What is it called? The stress cats. Stress animals. What are they? Stress relief. What are they called?
Service dogs?
Service dogs. You get essentially the same feeling. I'm not saying that they're animals, but I'm saying that they give you they take away the stress just as they do for
the kid can sense that you're in distress and therefore help you relieve the stress.
Right. Yeah. And so that's my main thing. Also,
but what if it's the fucking kid that's stressing you out?
Well, then you get them out of there. I mean, that's the point, right?
You're shitting, you're out of here.
Yeah. I think we've had a good one.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to add?
I don't think so. Did we skip anything? Miss anything?
We always skip and we always miss everything. And we're always wrong about everything. But, that's why we do this, just to capture, like a sliver. Like a quick sliver of stuff.
Yeah.
High five, Jethro. Alright. Rate, subscribe, share the Lucky Dog Podcast. Find us Twitter at Lucky Dog Podcast. Join the Facebook Lucky Dog Podcast Media. We have all our information, all our goods, all our stuff on YouTube.
Next thing is an Instagram.
We need to get like mega. We got to go mega before we go full.
And then
clothing, clothesline.
No, we
need merchandise. Lucky Dog merchandise.
The podcast. Got to get a mic. We're gonna start recording sessions.
What do you think we're using to record this? A potato?
You said we needed a mic.
We need another mic.
We need two mics. And we're gonna set up in there, and we're gonna have the tripod with your camera. Record us as we discuss it.
So you want like full on show status?
Sure.
Okay. Well, we'll ask the viewers.
And then we'll get clothing.
And then we get clothing? I think we need a Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right, Kelly.
I want a hat.
You're going to get a Lucky Dog hat.
I want my own hat for the next month.
Okay. We'll have to check inventory. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say about that.
I'm giving you a month, mister.
Oh, you're giving me a month. All right.
My hat here.
That's it. I'll check the stock. Well, you never know what stocks. Up, down, you never know. But thank you for listening, everyone.
Nothing really bad has ever happened to you, has it? That's creepy. Because when it does, you don't need reminders of your insignificance.
How is it that you can have feelings for a human?
To them, you were unthinking, unfeeling machines.
Are you ready?
Their capture is now a priority.
Put us all in danger!
You're out of your depth, to understand. It's gonna get yourself killed.
You all right, V?
Why did you ask me to lie to him?
If a thing can be free, it should be free. If it can think, it should think.
Get out of this house!
If it can feel, it should feel.
I am a synthetic, but I'm awake.
Humans returns in February, only on AMC.